Welcome back to Boomer Baseball. It's another Blue Glove special. We have the inaugural, it's a good word, inaugural release of Leaf Studio. So this is the set I like least in the 90s. It was like going to Sears and having your picture taken with your parents, or going to the fair and having to wear like a bolo tie and hold a fake 6-shooter next to a spittoon. It was just kind of disingenuous. I didn't like it much. So let's dig into it. So the big deal is Jeff Bagwell, right? Get a PSA 10 Bagwell, and this box plays for itself 5 times over. I think a PSA 10 Bagwell is like $150, $130, something like that. But you know what? This ain't about money. It's about the game. And finding out what these players do when they're not playing sports. It's the real world baseball edition. Yeah. The 90s were all about reality, right? They had the real world on MTV. So everything was about, going behind the scenes, the more you know type stuff. All right, here we go. Let's check it out. I think I bought like 2 packs of this when it came out at my local card shop, and it was just like $3 or $4 a pack, which was crazy money back then. And once I opened up the pack, so let's recreate that right now. You look at the front, and it's all gold and black. It looks sophisticated. It's got Rod Carew, because he can't stop, because he's a Rod Carew. He's got more hits than himself, right? So it's kind of pretty intense. You open it up, you can see the Perez sketch art coming to life, and then you see this fuchsia. What the hell color is this? It's like magenta. What is this? I don't know. I'm not an interior decorator. I don't know what kind of color palette we're working with here. But holy crap, I saw this and I thought to myself, what am I doing buying this product? What does it say? The studio set. It's been 31 years since Leaf or any other major company has issued a black and white set. Yeah, that's for a reason. We saw what Upper Deck did with the beautiful color and what Top Stadium Club can do. And we decided to go 280p. All right, whatever. Yeet. So there we go. They're high gloss. So, like getting your picture taken at the Sears or the JCPenney. Pretty high gloss. Robin Yount. Move on. Jack Morris showing you that split finger. Lance Parrish. Ozzie Smith. But he's telling the ball, you can run, but you can't hide. I'm going to get you. Darryl Kyle, rest in peace. Darryl Kyle died a little before his time. He died years before his time. Pretty wild to see him. Fred McGriff, doing the balancing trick. Bob Ojeda. Willie McGee looking halfway normal for a change. And then that Rod Carew puzzle piece. Pretty nice. Bought this at the Burbank card shop, and it was $20 whole, which sounded like a deal to me. $20 for, I think, 36 packs of bizarre goodness. BJ Surhoff, Phil Plantier rookie card, Kent Herbeck, Mark Langston, Kevin Moss, Black Jack McDowell, for all you poker fans, Ed Woodson, Darryl Strawberry looking introspective, Matt Williams, and Tino Martinez. Boy, actually, you know what? These are cooler than they look. Pardon me, cooler than I thought they would look. I didn't remember them very fondly. I bought 2 packs. I didn't get anybody good. I think I got Wade Boggs, which was cool, but it's Wade Boggs. It's, it wasn't Bagwell. And I just felt disappointed at the cost. I think I spent $6 for, one card that was worth like $1. So the late great Cecil Fielder, The always affable and happy Dave Henderson, man. I wonder if he's still alive. I wonder if he's a cool, happy-go-lucky guy. Lance Dickinson, don't remember him too much. Dwight Gooden, of course. Saw Doc Gooden at a local card show. In a tracksuit, it's impressive. He's a tall man. Will the Thrill Clark, looking business class. Jim DeShays, had some good stuff going. Bill Landrum. Glenn Davis. Larry Anderson. Eric Davis. That's the blue steel, isn't it? Is that blue steel? He's giving you like the blue steel look. He's rocking all the bling. Good for Eric Davis, man. All right, let's see what else we got. Look at that. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be. It looks like a porcupine. Porcupine's back. I'm not sure where Rod Carew comes in. Hopefully Rod Carew is not having to whack this giant porcupine with his bat. But if he was, that'd be dope. All right, anyway. Rob Deere, who I always, when I was a kid, I thought, you know, you get confused and think you got a Robin Yount. Dennis Eckersley. Burt Blyleven. Paul Mulder. Brooks Jacoby making Canary go potty face. Roberta Kelly. Mike Greenwell. Storm Davis. Brian Holman. And Tom Browning. Perfect game, right? He pitched a perfect game. You know how I know that? I opened up 89 Flair and it told me so. Pretty cool. What do we got here? Somebody's sock, somebody's sleeve. Pretty cool. All right, there we go. Kirby Puckett. Looks like he's holding on to a shoddy with his, excusez-moi, his baseball bat. Pretty nice. Whose signature is that? It's his own signature bat. His Louisville Slugger, Minnesota Twins, powerized Louisville Slugger, Kirby Puckett. Looks like it's got some battle damage. Pretty dope. That might be game used. Lloyd Mosby. Big Mac. I was a Big Mac guy back then. I never had this card. It was towards the end of my run with baseball. I had all my cards stolen at a card show, so that was fun. I had binders with the cards that I would take and I would sell in bulk. Basically, I would crack a bunch of wax that I got for wholesale and then I would sell it off, keep the goodies. And somebody decided to relieve me of my collection, so I decided I would collect hockey instead. So I came back to baseball years later when the nerves stopped being so frayed and frazzled. Rafael Palmeiro, Mark Lewis, Muslix, Henry Muslix, John Smoltz, throwing a bit, what is that, a lemon, turkey, rosin bag? I think it's a rosin bag. I thought at first it was like a rotisserie, but that's just me, I'm hungry. So I'm pretty sure that's a rosin bag. Billy Sampin. I don't remember Bill Sampin, but he looks like he's coming on to somebody. Hope it ain't us. Chillax, Bill Sampin. I'm married, bro. I ain't got no time for it. All right, here we go. Mike Fitzgerald. Lloyd Mosby again. Mookie Wilson. Frank Viola. Man, if he was wearing like one of those French hats from like the Three Musketeers, and he had like a ruffle collar and like a fencing sword, I mean, he'd be right in there. Look at that face. He's a Three Musketeer. Jeff Treadway. Looks like somebody's little brother with a mustache. Terry Mulholland. Gary Scott. Henry Muslix Flakes. Whoa, look at Sammy. This is Sammy before Sammy started looking Sammy So-So. He's a real Sammy right here. This is before the So-So days. I like the hair. That's cool, man. Dave Stewart. It's about as forgiving as I've seen Dave Stewart look in a long time on his cards. He usually has a pretty pretty sinister glare going. Like he's not feeling it. But that he almost looks flirty. That's what I didn't like about these cards. Holy cow, you know what? I forgot. Oh my god. See, this is like Facebook. This is MySpace. This is Facebook. This is holy, look at this. Personal. Gives you his information, where he's born, his career. That's nice. I don't mind that. It's like a regular card. No stats though, you know. It's all about the man. It's not about the game right now. It's about the man, right? But then it gives you hobbies and interests. Boating, hunting, basketball. Very involved in community activities. All types of music, especially jazz. And then he watches All My Children. So like throw all that out the window. Who watches All My Children? Good Lord. Days of Our Lives, bro. Kidding me right now. Get out of here, Dave Stewart. All right, now you got me curious. All right, you know what? I'm just curious about maybe Sammy Sosa. Let's go right through this. Schmaltz. I'm just curious. McGuire. Puckett. All right. Maybe that's too many people. All right, for right now, I think that's fine. I'm just curious about those guys. I don't even have to read them to you. Or you people out there, if anybody's ever watching this video. I'm just going to look at them later. Because I'm curious what their hobbies are. It'd be kind of cool if they did something. Like they painted Warhammer miniatures or something on the side. Lenny Dykstra. He's holding that bat in a very inappropriate way. Tom Candiotti. He's showing you his finger positioning. Pretty cool. Oral Hershiser, he couldn't take the day off. He just showed up after the game. Rex Hudler. Clemens, man. Looking like a insolent little brat. Look at that. I'm not going to share the ball with you. I'm going to throw you a strike. He looks upset. Warren Cromartie. Eric Hansen. Charlie Hull, look at that. He's just throwing in the towel, man. There's the towel. He's about to throw it in. He's like, I'm out of it, man. I've been doing this since like the early, was it the late 60s, early 70s? Dan Gladden, Milt Kyler, pretty cool. Do we need to know what he did? Hobbies and interests for Roger Clemens. He likes golf and water sports. I don't even want to know what kind of water sports those are. Maybe like water polo, high diving. Favorite shows are Inside the PGA Tour, Rescue 911. He likes cops as live police shows. They won't put cops on here because it's alienating people. He collects jerseys of other people who wear the number 21 because he's a narcissist. And he's a fan of the University of Texas. His hero is John F. Kennedy. Pretty cool. Ask not what steroids can do for you, but what they can do for your career. I use performance-enhancing drugs because they're there. Whatever. That's my horrible Kennedy. You're welcome. Ozzie Smith, Darryl Kyle, the repeat pack. Oop. Yep, Mike Fitzgerald, another one of those promo cards. Yep. All right, I think we've reached the end of the sheet. We're starting to see redundancy already. 13 minutes. Well, you're in good hands. This is only going to take like an hour. Dave Madigan. Barry Larkin. Roger McDowell looking like the Karate Kid. Pretty cool. Steve Samuel. Another Aussie. Reardon. Saberhagen. Saberhagen looks like he's from a different time period, man. Harold Reynolds. The Big Hoyt. Frankie Thomas. I'm going to pull that aside because I think that's nice. Let's see what else. He's one of my favorites. The Big Hoyt. Now he sells, what does he sell? Masculine medication. Andy Vine Slyke. Chris Sabo squinting because he's not wearing his goggles. I feel you, man. Milt Thompson. Kurt Schilling. That's the look of a man that will bleed in his sock and still pitch shutout baseball. Tino Martinez. Pip Roberts. Juan Samuel. Kevin Mitchell. He's the thinker. Andres Galarraga. Looking cool. John Olerud looking very Canadian. Just kidding, I don't know. He looks like John Olerud. I don't know what Canadian looks like. Eh? Oh my goodness. Maybe this is the Bagwell pack and I just yeeted it all over. Rick Honeycutt, George Bell. Daryl Boston, that's cool. He looks stoic. Dave Anderson. Oh, there's the Bagwell. Looking scratched, man. Now you won't be able to see it, I bet you, but right over here on the field, it's the first card I've noticed it. There's little micro lines right over here. So yeah, go figure. You finally get a Bagwell and he's got all sorts of battle damage already. You know what? Put you on top of Frank there. Jack Clark, Jeff Conine rookie card, King Griffey Sr. teasing me, Mariana Duncan, Charlie Hayes. Pretty cool. Well, we're like less than a quarter through the box and we already got a Bagwell, so I bet you because of the size of the set, you're guaranteed to probably get like 2 or 3 Bagwells maybe, right, if you're lucky. Because we've already seen Gooden, we've seen Will Clark, Deshays, we've seen all these characters here. Yup, seen them all. Okay. Yep. Yeah, we're getting into some redundancy here. Oh yeah. So sets is year after rookie. Whatever. Eric King, that's a new one, right? Oh, there's Randy Johnson. There's a new one. You know what? Let's see what Randy's into. If Randy is into like bird hunting or like skeet shooting or duck hunting or playing Nintendo's Duck Hunt, that would be really interesting, wouldn't it? His interests include playing the drums and photography. He likes hard rock music and he likes David Letterman. His hero is his dad. What a cool dude, man. He's such a cool dude. What a cool guy, Randy Johnson. He's turned into a big-time photographer. I don't know if you've heard. His work has been exhibited all over the place where they'll, his work is speaking for itself, I think. People in the art world heard he was the big unit. They got confused, and then they realized, oh, it's because he pitches. And then they realized his photography was more mundane. I won't get into it. Anyway, Kirk McCaskill. There's Don Mattingly. Nice. That's cool, man. Like Don Mattingly. Barry Larkin again. Kendo. Lou Whitaker. Ruben Sierra. That's a cool one. Nice. And these aren't as bad as I thought. Not as bad as I thought. I think this puzzle's hideous, though. Maybe Perez couldn't paint anything in time, so he just did he doodled something. Like Reynolds, Sabragan again. Oh, there's our first Ripken. He's wearing his hard hat. He's mocking Olerud. Mickey Mortendini. Rhino, man. Rest in peace, Rhino. Randy Johnson. Terry Pendleton. That's cool. You see how these cards are fairly common. I think they produce quite a few of them, and then the repetition is pretty wild. Well, now we got a new sheet. So Randolph, Juan Gonzalez, Steve Avery, Fiske, pretty cool. Roberto Alomar, nice. Yeah, we're seeing all this set. It's cool. I recently bought some binders at a thrift store, and it was like 3 or 4 different years of all the Leaf Studios, 92 Studio all the way through like 94 or 5. But yeah, that was pretty cool, and they were like $40. It was a pretty killer deal. And some of those years look pretty nice. They're embossed and everything. High gloss. Hojo. Whoa, Steve Lake. Let me guess, you like aviary. Raising Birds, yeah. Pretty cool. Joe Girardi, Steve Sachs. I met Steve Sachs once. He didn't look at me. I paid like $25 to have a ball signed, and I bought a Major League Baseball, and this was in the 80s. And we waited for like an hour to get the signature, waited in line, got there early. And then I got up there, and I don't know what I was thinking. I thought maybe he'd shake my hand or give me a pointer or something, or ask me about my life as a kid who played baseball. And he just snagged the ball and signed it and gave it back to me. And my mom was wondering why we spent $25 to sign to get the signature, $15, $10, $12 for the ball. It was an official baseball Rawlings ball. It was a real ball. It wasn't like a little league ball. I never owned a leather ball at that point, so it was pretty crazy to physically hold a real Major League Baseball. And then I got one of them trophy cases, the acrylic trophy cases with the gold base. And afterwards, boy, I could care less about Steve Sax, man. He was rude to everybody in front of me, and then I thought maybe because they were older and they were geeking out and asking him dumb questions, so I thought I'd just be like this quiet kid going up there and paying respect. And he could care less, man. He was out in the middle of the high desert in California, and he was not a happy guy. I don't know what happened, but it was a bad experience for me. And I took that ball and I played with it, because you know what? F you, Steve Sax. Oh, that's a nice Bagwell. That is a really clean Bagwell. I mean, it does not have any of those scratches. You got to kind of lean it and look at it. Centering is just slightly right to left, just ever so slightly. That's a good one. All right, I'm going to put this one aside because it's special. I don't want to spit on it or something stupid. This one is a previous example, but I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. But right over his bat, there is the microest of micro lines. So let's put the Bagwells over here. The Snackwell Bagwells. All right. All right, back to go. Jeff. Yep, same old. We haven't seen Creek. Oh, there's Eddie Murray having a good time. Kind of looks like my grandmother laughing. That's interesting. We haven't seen King Griffey yet, so hopefully he's going to show up. Ray Langford, Sean Dunston, Tommy Herb, Alex Fernandez, Dwight Evans. Back in Repeatville, darn it. Catch another sheet. Yep. Greg Jeffries. Wow, look at that hair. Dave Justice, man, he was cool. Puckett again. Dave Winfield showing you his big old mitts. Look at it. What is he holding? 3, 4 balls? At least 3. That's pretty good. Pip Roberts. Eric Shaw. Mark Lewis. Edgar Martinez, another Hall of Famer. I think, who haven't we seen? King Griffey Jr., George Brett, maybe. George Brett. Who else? Like Joe Carter. There's Paul O'Neill looking retro. I don't know if you remember the 90s. They were bringing back all this like Cooperstown retro stuff. It was pretty rad. Pretty darn cool. Like rough spun, like wool and cotton. It's pretty dope, man. Felt, all sorts of stuff. Kirk Gibson. Randy Johnson again. Jose Lynn Pendleton. Pretty nice. There we go. Mark Gubiziga. I always like to mess up his name. Look at that mullet going. Chef. Pretty cool. Andy Van Slyke. Sabo can't see. Winfield's got big hands, so look out. He'll collect all the round objects around him in one hand. So make sure he's on your side. Otherwise, you could find yourself in a predicament. All right, let's see. Marquise Grissom. Pip Roberts. Parrish. Vaughn. Steve Sax, Speak of the Devil. Tim Rock Raines, bro. Look at that. They done did it. Not since the days of Oil Can Boyd have I seen such name play. Tim Rock Raines, formerly known as Timothy Raines, the artist formerly known as oh, there's Gary Carter. Cool. See, that's one of them Major League Baseballs. They're fancy. They smell like cowhide. It's great. Andre Dawson. Julio Franco. Everybody's macking with their bat. It's kind of awkward. Ken Caminetti. Drabick. Glavin. Shields. Ooh, Tony Gwynn. It's got a big roller line. Darn it. Jimmy Reese. Pretty cool, man. That's an old timer right there. I wonder if they're gonna have like other old timers in here. That would have been cool. They'd had like throwback players, like, you know. That'd been neat. Let's see. There's Boggs. I had that one. There's Barry Bonds. Another guy. Moses Alou. Rookie Paul Farias. Paul Wheeler. All right, let's get through it. Boggs. Chuck Finley. Willie Randolph doing some sort of I don't know what Randolph was doing here. He's got to look like he don't know what he was doing. Pretty sure Juan Gon was just punching his glove. You know. Like Robin in the old Batman. He's going to punch his hand into his palm to show you how rough he is. He's a rough customer. Oh, there we go. Rex Hudler, no Clemens. There's Canseco. Nice. Jim Abbott. Okay, cool. We're finding some new people. Haven't given up hope on King Griffey Jr. All right, let's see what we got. Dalton. Haven't seen him. Julio Franco. We saw him. We saw that pack. Nope. Trade away looking like a big baby with a beard. Mulholland. Oh, these are new guys. Don Slott, Al Morris. Hey, Lee Smith. Harnish. Is it Alferman? Cool. All right, let's see what we got. Seen this one. Dave Anderson. Oh, another Bags. Little Bags. He's got a dent. Oh, jeez, man. Got a dent. I don't know what happened. Somebody dropped something on him. There's a little dent right there on the surface. See if you can see it in the light. Just above my finger where the border meets the black and white. He got dinged. All right, move these useless puzzle pieces of Rod Carew. All right. Senior. Mariano Duncan. A lot of there's a lot of debris coming out of these packs. I think it's from the puzzle pieces. You know, when they chop these puzzles, it creates all sorts of detritus. It's pretty bad. Hey, Benito Santiago looking like a Latin American Jim Carrey. That's cool. I like it. Another propaganda piece, right? Mark Grace, very nice. Zero Kyle. I thought that said RIP. I'm not trying to be morbid, but at first I thought that said RIP. I know it means right-hand pitcher, but still. For a second I thought, what am I looking at? Oh, Rudy. Oh, look at Jeff Kunkel. That's cool, man. I like that. That's fun. Ben McDonald. He's got the high and tight. His dad was probably in the service. Dale Murphy. Dave Smith. We're seeing some new stuff. John, I Don't Smile, Smiley. Paul O'Neill. Retro O'Neill. Pretty cool.